Hey everyone, welcome back to Muse Themes. This is Ashton Bingham. We've got yet another theme coming your way that I'm really excited to share. Our Infini Club theme, designed with a club and or membership type of site in mind, has a bit of a hip and modern flair and has some really awesome but subtle features and is fully responsive as well. Starting on our homepage, we have this really awesome full page type of layout that uses a browser fill and pinned elements to allow this to fit perfectly on any browser size. We have a stylish accordion menu on top that fills the browser as well for our navigation. On our club page, we have this really neat composition layout allowing for an interactive way to showcase social media links. And as I scroll down, we have a couple uses of our new scroll reveal widget implemented, including this black navigation bar as well as this back to top button that come into play as soon as we move down the page. Over on our gallery page, we have a slick usage of our Gallery Connect, giving us a really stylish and fully responsive layout of imagery. And over here on our Join page, we have our Drop Zone widget included, used here for application submissions, but of course can be used in any fashion desired. It's a really cool and unique little theme, so let's jump into Muse and we'll take a look at our setup process and various features from within. I'm going to bring up my Finder window and take a look at what we get once we download the theme. You'll see an Assets folder and of course the Muse project file. So I'll double click on the file and it will open up in Muse automatically. Now once Muse opens, you'll probably be prompted with this message saying that a number of the assets are missing and need to be relinked. And I'll show you how to do that really quick. But first we'll click OK. And right off the bat our pages will populate. And with many of our themes, every now and then some of the stock imagery shown in the live preview is not included in the theme download due to copyright restrictions, unfortunately. However, this last page here in our plan view includes all the direct links to all the stock image sources in case you want to download them yourself or perhaps browse replacements. This page is not set to export as part of your site, but rather is simply present for informational purposes only. So let's jump into our master page. You can relink the assets on any page of the site, but we'll begin here since this page holds the backbone of our navigation. So over here to the right, I'm going to expand our Assets panel. And right away, you'll likely see a red question mark icon next to several, if not all, of the assets in this project. And that's simply due to the fact that you're now opening this project on a new computer, and all of the asset files are now located in a different location than where they were when the theme was created. So let's start with this first file here, logo.svg. If we right-click on the file, we're going to want to select this first option to relink. This will prompt you with a Finder window for you to tell Muse exactly where that file is located. So wherever you've placed the assets folder that comes with the theme download, you're going to want to navigate to that folder as I've done here. So up here on the top of my Finder window, here on my Mac layout, it reminds me of the name of the file that I'm searching for. It begins with a number 2 in brackets, followed by logo.svg. And in my Finder here, I can easily locate that file with the number 2 with the matching name. I'll select it and then simply click OK. And once I do that, immediately you can see most, if not all, of the red question marks disappear, since Muse now knows where that folder is located. So depending on how you've organized your files, you may have to do this a few times in the Assets panel to make sure they've all been located. Right now, I can see that Muse has found all of them, with the exception of these 2 PHP files down here towards the bottom. These PHP files are part of our Drop Zone widget, which has been used inside this theme. The Drop Zone widget requires that you upload the PHP files directly into the widget settings panel. So if you do plan to keep this Drop Zone widget inside the site, make sure to give the tutorial video for that widget a watch, and don't worry about replacing these PHP files here in the Assets panel. You're going to be uploading them directly into the widget. So now that I have all my assets linked, let's take a close look at how our navigation is set up. I'm going to revert back to the club page of our live demo so that we can see this in action up close. Starting at the very top of our page, we see our logo here on the top left, our menu icon on the top right, and our accordion menu is completely clickable and functional. Now, immediately as I begin scrolling down the page, we see this black bar come into view, serving as a background to our navigation. This is done using our new Scroll Reveal widget. So back on the master page, I can select this accordion menu, which we see is sporting a top center pinning. Our logo elements on the left have a top left pinning. And if I select the accordion menu, I can move it down just a little bit out of the way, just enough so that I can select this black bar, and we can see that it too has a top center pinning. Now if I pop open my graphic styles panel, we can also see the graphic style of nav has been applied to this bar, which is how we've linked it to our scroll reveal widget placed here on the far left. So really quickly, I'll pop open the settings panel of the widget, and we can see our graphic style of nav entered. We have our scroll reveal mode to show when scrolling down as opposed to hide when scrolling down. We have a scroll offset of 0, which means that the effect will take place immediately upon any scrolling taking place. But you could customize this to happen further down the page by simply increasing the pixel count. And there's some various customization options down beneath that, but I definitely recommend checking out the tutorial on this widget as there are tons of ways this can be used. It's not just for headers and navigation, but you can use it with social media icons, color overlays, and even a back to top button, which we've also incorporated in this theme. Our second scroll reveal widget here on the left we can see is using a graphic style of top. And if I jump over to our club page, we can scroll to the very bottom and we can see an arrow graphic placed here. And if I select it, we can see a bottom right corner pinning applied and a graphic style of top applied as well. And that's what's giving us this stylish back to top button in the corner back in our live demo. We can see that upon scrolling, it pops into view right from the bottom. And you'll find that in the project file, the arrow graphic is not placed on the master page, it's placed on the individual pages. And the reason that we did that is because the arrow graphic is not needed on the home page because the home page doesn't scroll. So it's been placed only on the individual pages that it's needed. But since the widget has been applied on the master page, the effect will take place wherever the arrow is sitting. We also do have a blog post detailing the entire setup of both this back to top button as well as the navigation bar, and you can find a link to that in our product page for this theme. So now let's talk about this social flyout function we have on most of the pages. As we already saw, we have our sharing graphic here in the center, and with a mouse hover, we get this really slick bar with various social media links placed within. And this is done with a simple composition widget inside of Muse. So back into Muse at the top of my club page, we can see the links are already here in view. And if I hover my mouse over and click on this center graphic, you can see a dotted line appear showing you the full composition that we've selected. If you're familiar with Muse compositions, you know that we have targets and triggers. Targets are the content areas that pop into view when the composition is activated, and the triggers are what set them off. So our target is this vertical bar here with the social icons placed inside, and you can continue clicking within to select them individually. They all have their own individual hyperlinks assigned, which you can customize up here in your hyperlinks menu. And our trigger is this center graphic here. But let me click away from this for a second because I want to select the composition as a whole once again. And I want to click the blue icon to pop open the flyout panel. And there's lots of ways you can customize this, but there are a few important settings to mind if you want to maintain the functionality that's been put in place here. We have options on the top here to show target and hide target, which are both set to be done with a rollover instead of a click. We have the option for hide all initially selected, which is what keeps the icons out of view until the user rolls over the trigger. We also have show lightbox parts while editing checked, and that's what keeps it in view for us here in Muse to be able to edit it on the workspace. So it's a pretty cool little function and a really unique way to display your links. And the last two things I want to show really quick, I'm going to switch over to our gallery page. We have our Gallery Connect widget placed here, taking up a large portion of space. But as we can see over here on the live demo, if we navigate to our gallery page, it fills the whole width of our browser beautifully with the imagery, and of course responds nicely as I scale the browser up and down. Just make sure to get inside the settings panel for Gallery Connect and get your spreadsheet keys entered inside. And give the Gallery Connect tutorial video a watch as well for more info on the setup and the options. And lastly, jumping over to our membership page, as I mentioned earlier, we have our drop zone widget integrated here, which is giving the user the ability to upload files directly to you to be sent via an email notification. Now inside the settings panel, there are 3 PHP files that need to be present, as I mentioned earlier, and it has to be uploaded directly via this settings panel. So make sure to check out the drop zone tutorial as well on more details there. So that's our Infini Club theme. Thanks again as always for watching and for your support. And if you have any questions or concerns, we're all ears. And until next time.